Now for business updates across the globe, Rotus Oddiri joins us.
Good morning, Doctor.
Rotus.
Good morning, Rufai. Good morning to all our viewers out there. I want to kick off where you left off. Great interview with Professor there from the former head of the CIB and on the banking industry. There is, of course, all eyes on the banking sector. There's the Bank Directors Association of Nigeria. Look who they've got coming up to speak next week, I believe, in Abuja. It is none other than former CBN Governor Lamido Sanusi. He's going to be talking about emerging issues, navigating the complex balance between regulation and compliance. And they set this up before Mr. Cardozo spoke at the CIBN dinner on Friday. So it's going to be very interesting to get his take on all of this continuing of direct quasi-intervention activities, getting Lamido Sanusi's take on recapitalization of the banks and regulation, since that is the theme, and also, of course, the return to orthodox monetary policy. So we're going to be, again, the banking sector, the financial sector, highly important. We're going to be looking at that. All right, global news, OPEC lashing out at the International Energy Agency, saying that the oil industry is being, quote unquote, unjustly vilified for the climate crisis. And we're interested to get both your thoughts on this. So this is a quote from the Secretary General of OPEC, who also is, I think, the head of oil industry for Kuwait, Mr. Hatham Al-Ghais. He says the International Energy Agency unjustly vilifies the oil industry as being behind the climate crisis. The accusations are undiplomatic, to say the least. All eyes on COP28 in Dubai, this on Thursday, I believe. That's when it's going to be kicking off. All right, speakers of Dubai all in the headlines. Champeng Zhao, apparently a U.S. judge has temporarily says he cannot leave the USA just yet. This was after Department of Justice prosecutors said that he is a flight risk and that as he is awaiting sentencing, if he jets off to Dubai where he lives, he may not come back. He'll just have to pay just a $20 million fee to his guarantors, and that's it. He's a billionaire. He's got money. Just to remind people, he pled guilty to money laundering, also to violating U.S. sanctions, KYC and stuff like that. Binance to pay $4 billion to keep them in operation. He's paying a $50 million fine, and he's going to step down as CEO. So between now and his sentencing, the judge is looking at what the Department of Justice prosecutors have said. They are reviewing that. We jet on over to India. India is just getting all the investments. Foxconn, that makes up to an estimated 70% of iPhones for Apple, is going to invest $1.5 billion in India. They've said that it's an unspecified project. It's in their securities filing in Taiwan on Monday. They already have existing projects, a $600 million factory in the state of Karnataka, and also a $500 million factory in the state of Telangana. And the various ministers or the heads of those municipalities were sending out tweets, really excited that Foxconn is coming to break ground there. So they want to diversify their supply chains away from China, and India is the destination. Morgan Stanley putting out a note saying that India is where to look at as far as investments going to the future. So they are really this is FDI, ladies and gentlemen, that is going in there. From India and from Foxconn, then we're going to move on to aviation. Now, this company, Lilium, it's a German company. They're making eVTOLs, which is electric vertical takeoff landing vehicles, basically an electric jet. They've gotten design organization approval, DOA, from the EASA, that's the European Union Aviation Safety Agency, which allows them to proceed with their electric jet. A really cool company. They're really making some really, really cool things. Here's a video of what they're doing.
What you see behind me is the only premium eVTOL in the current market. Alberto Caruso, I'm responsible for the design and brand department in Lilium. The overall goal is to reach regional air mobility in a sustainable way. And by doing this, we pass through the premium market. Our aircraft looks very different with respect to the others. First of all, it's a jet, but it's actually a combination between a small jet cabin and a cockpit helicopter. So if you have in mind the show jet, the main changes are in particular linked to the frame. So we had to actually modify the size and the shape of the windows and the door, coming up also with a significant weight reduction. The other big, let's say, change was about the space inside that needed to be reformulated according to the new battery volume. our products, especially in the Pioneer Edition configuration, is going to be highly customizable. We're going to offer many solutions to customize and to design according to your wish, many parts of the interiors. So it's a new product coming with a disruptive technology. It's a full electric and it's the future of aviation.
Can an electric battery successfully take an aircraft with people vertically off the ground and then fly? That is the challenge here, as opposed to fossil jet A1, which is what is normally used. So that is what these folks, again, a German company, they've received approval. So you have to think about the regulator stepping in here and saying, yes, we think your flying taxis are going to be cool. You go ahead and move forward with your design. So as far as the future of aviation and where it is going, incredible stuff. Speaking of aviation, I think from the United States, a record number of travelers in the US, the busiest day of air travel in US history on Sunday, November the 26th, over the Thanksgiving holidays, 2,894,304 people that were screened at the airport. So screening tech, basically when Rufai passes, Rufai is 1. Doctor passes through screening, that's 2. Rotus 3. They're basically counting every single person that came through screening, 2.89 million. The prior record was on June the 30th. It was 2.88 million people that traveled then. So, I guess just a lot more people traveling and no delays, no news of anything. Everything was pretty much smooth. What else is going on? I think, Doctor, you talk about Black Friday sales, and maybe we'll get the stats when they're ready, but they are projecting that Cyber Monday could actually be the biggest online shopping day in history in the United States. I think 12.7 billion is what they're projecting, Adobe Analytics, but we don't have those figures yet. We'll get them either later today or early tomorrow. But now, so with that European aviation, US aviation, let's get to Nigeria. Apparently, the Federal Executive Council has approved 3.2 billion naira for what they're saying is modern scanners for the airports. Here's the Aviation Minister, Festus Keyamo.
Since I came to office, we have been inundated with complaints of the harrowing experience or experiences that passengers go through at the airports where they have to physically search their bags. I'm sure you all know about that, and it's been really getting under the skin of Nigerians. You see various agencies lined up, NDLA say, open your bag, Immigration, open your bag, Customs, open your bag, EFCC, open your bag, and they will dipping their hands in your bag. And, so we thought we should do something like you have the TSA in America, where you have detection machines. So when they pass through your machine, your bags through the machines, it detects explosives or any other thing, and that's the end of the search. And so it's for the approval of the award of contract for the supply and installation of customized explosive and narcotics detection screening systems with remote and dual view for the international airports of Abuja, Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, and Enugu.
Well, this is my own ignorance here. When you go to the international airports, especially with the new terminal, the first thing you do is to scan your bags. So I don't know, maybe Dr. Rufai, you got to hear your thoughts on this, because we already have scanners. So I'm not really sure what tech is here that separates this from what we already have. When you get to the airport for international flights, you scan your bags before you even get into the airport. You are scanned again before you board your flight. So anyway, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority put out saying that put out the tweet. They are investigating United Nigeria Airlines on that flight diversion that happened from the flight was supposed to go to Abuja and then diverted to Asaba. So they're saying they're investigating it as of right now. Here's the tweet that started it all from this Dawisu gentleman, where he said that Nigeria, my country, departed Lagos about an hour ago on Fly United to Abuja. Upon arrival, the cabin crew confidently announced that we had arrived in Abuja, only for us to realize that we landed in Asaba. Apparently, our pilot was given a wrong flight plan, but that wasn't what happened. So then he put out another, this tweet got about, 8 million views. It says, we're departing Asaba now, I pray we don't land in Oshobo next. Is what he said. So that was the Asaba airport. So then United now put out a statement after people have been tagging them, asking for an explanation. They said it was because of weather. They said was temporarily diverted to Asaba International Airport due to poor destination weather. He said the pilot was aware of the temporary diversion, was properly briefed. However, a wrong announcement was made by the cabin crew upon landing safely in Asaba, creating confusion among the passengers. So Festus Keyamo now put out a tweet saying that, and this was yesterday, it says, due to safety concerns in the aviation sector expressed by members of the public, I've summoned the heads of the regulatory agencies. This tweet, I don't know, if Nigerian Airlines were on the stock exchange, they would have dropped too, because I think he should have worded it a little differently, because this would have kind of, spread panic, for thinking, what safety concerns are there? So, yeah, that is what is going on.
So, so a lot of people will say, yes, he has reacted to it, but the question is the way he reacted to it. I think as a minister, you should have had more context.
Right.
More nuanced context.
Yeah.
And just saying no safety concerns. Precisely state what happened, state what you're calling them for. Is the general issue, because we hear the suspended United Airlines now. And how the heck does that really happen? You know? Is it a flight plan issue or a diversion because of weather? And if it was a diversion because of weather, was there no pre-warning for levels of weather and all of that? Was there no communication with the passenger? So I think a lot more investigation needs to be done. But this just cast a very bad light on the aviation sector. You remember the water and the tank incident? You remember skidding off the runway incident? We've had one too many. We don't want to go back to the days of Sosoliso. Please stop all of this. Can I use the word child's play we're doing in the aviation sector? For the Binance person, so for the very first time, all those concerns, I'm not saying, okay, scratch that. Not the first time. The second time now, with what happened to Sam Bankman-Fried and this Binance chief now, there are strong concerns about money laundering and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It has to be said. And how they will be able to bring back the confidence in the market and cryptocurrency market is something that the players will have to do. And it calls for, more concern by government regulatory agencies to be able to do more. Because increasingly, we're hearing cases of fraud and use of money laundering. Probably some of this might have been done by non-state actors and warring factions. Just God helps you if this is used by a lot of terrorists to transfer funds and create harm.
We're talking about crypto.
Yeah.
Regulation will probably be the main area of challenge. Last week, the Singapore Monetary Authority, came up with stricter regulations with regard to crypto. And I thought I was going to bring it up with you, that what is the quality of regulation that we have here in Nigeria, where many young people are excited about crypto. Now, talking about the NCAA, what the NCAA has done is to ban wet-leased aircraft being used by United Nigeria Airlines. And the minister, but what is instructive is that the minister is summoning a meeting of all the heads of agencies in the aviation sector today. And he wants them to come and focus on safety. And to the extent that the ministry is trying to focus on safety, we have to say, well, that makes some sense. They will be interested in the outcome of the meeting. And the minister also talked about possible sanctions for certain recent developments in the aviation sector. A private jet going off the runway in Ibadan, Dana Air complaining about operational challenges, another aircraft going off the runway in Port Harcourt. And then now you have this United Nigeria Airline flight that was supposed to go to Abuja that ended up in Asaba. And the gentleman you quoted said the pilot was given the wrong flight plan. So the truth of all of this must come out. And we hope that the minister, in meeting with the heads of agencies, will be able to get to the root of it. Yes, he says he needs 3.2 billion for scanners at the airport. Yes, when you are traveling, they have some scanners there. But when you return, it's the customs officials who open people's bags. They want to see what is inside the bag. As you are coming, as you take your bag from the carousel and you get to them. What is the international practice? In many other airports around the world, well, they don't check your bags physically. They use scanners. Even if they have to check your bags physically, they take you to a room. They are wearing gloves. These are our own people. They would just have come from the toilet or from wherever with their dirty hands, and they are touching, your things, looking for whatever. I once witnessed an occasion where a woman was saying, don't touch my bra, don't touch my underwears. Some people feel that their privacy is violated. So if the purpose is to, raise standards,
yes,
I think it's welcome. Whether it's 3.2 billion
Thank you, sir. I was
that we need.
You preempted my next question for you.
So,
does that justify it?
So there should be transparency, because to buy 3.2 billion to check this thing that they just put like this, there must be some due diligence.
Doctor, I don't know.
In that regard.
I don't know.
Finally, you were talking about Foxconn. Foxconn is a major Apple supplier.
Yes.
They do iPhone. You recall that last year, during COVID, they had issues at their factory,
That's right.
in China, when as a result of restrictions and all of that, they had issues with labor, some of their workers running over the fence and all that. Yes. So this is why they are looking at India. They are setting up factories in Telangana and other places in India, I guess, to diversify risk. So this may be seen, Karnataka and Telangana. Yeah. This may be a way of diversifying risk and to make sure that, okay, at least they've learned one or two lessons from what happened in China during COVID-19. So that's what businesses do.
Yes, sir.
They innovate. If they don't innovate and recreate,
You die.
they die. Thank you very much, Rotus.
Thank you.